welcome viewers to another edition of NFL Web TV. I'm joined today by Daniel Keenan, the captain of Monty. Thanks for coming in, Daniel.
No worries. Yeah.
Obviously, a bit of a tough start to this year, 0-4, not probably where you want to be at the moment.
No, it's never good to have consecutive losses, and I guess when we looked at the start of the year, we didn't probably think we were going to be in this position. But yeah, we found ourselves here now, and we've got a real challenge ahead of ourselves over the coming weeks.
Obviously, most clubs, when you have a big pre-season and you obviously expect big things, did you think at all during the pre-season that you might struggle early days, or was there any indication that you wouldn't win the game at this stage of the year?
No, I think when we look at our list, we felt we'd improved our list. We'd done a solid pre-season. Most guys were pretty fit. Fortunately, a couple of our recruits had a few injury clouds over them, with McPherson has had an injured foot, and Ben Haynes has had some osteitis pubis. In addition, just prior to the start of the season, Luke Jackson got an inner ear infection and ended up in hospital with vertigo. So we probably lost a few of our promising recruits in that sense.
Well, it's obviously not the start you're after. Obviously, in terms of injuries, no club can obviously deal with the loss of those calibre of players, but in particular, Ben Haynes obviously is a big recruit for the club, and as a league, we all looked at that and thought it was a big player to bring into a club who we thought was going to be quite successful. And of course, it's only early days still, but is there any chance of Ben getting on the park in the near future that you know of?
Well, he trained. We had a light running session last night, and he trained. He trained. He's just got married actually, and he was training prior to that. And we'd be hoping sometime in the next 2 or 3 weeks that we might see him run out in the black and white, which is good, and we're looking forward to seeing him play.
Well, fingers crossed, because of course, as a league in general, I think a lot of supporters of clubs would like to see Hainesy running around, and obviously a tough start for Fab Corelli. How's he going? New coach, obviously lost Jack Cole at the end of last year. The year before, pardon me, sorry, obviously going back, and how's he coping with the form so far this year?
Fab's very positive, I guess, and that's one of his strengths. He's not going to get caught up in looking at the negative side of things. He understands and sees where we need to make our improvements, and he'll implement game plans and training sessions designed around fixing those deficiencies so far in the year. But yeah, he's very good at remaining positive, and yeah.
Well, we did speak to him on the radio before the game, and he was quite upbeat despite having lost the 3 games, and he was confident going into the Greensboro game that he could get the points. Another chance this week against Whittlesea, the newcomers to Division 1. Obviously on your home paddock, and you probably want to show them who's boss a bit. Definitely a chance to get 4 points on the board.
Well, yeah. Well, we'd hope every week to turn our season around, and hopefully this week we can get the ball rolling. By no means will we be taking Whittlesea lightly. They've come up and they've had some good performances. So we'll be going out there focusing on the areas we need to improve, and hopefully we can get our season back on track.
And how the boys come up after Saturday? Obviously, you ran Greensboro, who's probably the form side, along with Bandura, right to the end. I think the scoreboard might not reflect so much how the actual game was, in terms of the last quarter. I felt you actually dominated the last quarter. You just couldn't get the score on the board, and had things gone your way, things probably could have been a bit closer. But how the boys pulled up after that one?
Yeah, physically we've pulled up well. There's no injuries to come out of the game, so that's always a positive. Like I said, we had a light running session last night, and we had all the senior group from Saturday on the track, which was good. Training tonight, and we'll have a good run out. Okay, and yeah, so we have everyone from the weekend to choose from, and yeah, everyone's feeling physically strong, and with our performances, I think we're trying to remain positive, looking at the things we're doing well, learning from the things that have let us down. A few simple skill errors, I think, have hurt us each week we've played. I don't think at any stage of any of the games we've been out of the game. We've been in positions in each of our 4 matches so far where if we were able to capitalise better, we perhaps could have challenged more on the scoreboard. So if we can fix those deficiencies, I think we'll be a lot better for it.
Does that actually make it all the more frustrating? I think the 28-point loss was the biggest one for the season. Does it make it even more frustrating that you're getting so close but you're not getting the final result that you want?
It is frustrating, and sometimes I guess you've got to make sure that you don't go back into your shell. You need to remain upbeat. You need to go back to the simple things and go through the processes that make the team strong in the first place. Concentration, when you've got skill errors sneaking in, or we're having periods of good play and then periods where we drop off, I think it's a concentration thing comes into it a lot as well. So we get the application right, and I think we can really challenge most sides in the competition.
The next question you can answer however you like. We saw Daniel Keenan running around in the reserves on the weekend. There's been a few whispers about his future. Where's he at the moment?
Yeah, D-Max decided to move on. He's looking at perhaps finding a club closer to home. He lives on the other side of town in the western suburbs, and he travels quite extensively to and from training. In addition, his wife's pregnant with their second child, and she's due in 6 or 7 weeks. So he's got a lot of outside pressures and responsibilities, which have kind of forced his hand a little bit.
And that's obviously probably a disappointing loss for all the blokes at the club.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a good person to have around the club. He's got a lot of knowledge, a lot of experience, and he's very positive in what he does. So it'd be sad to see him not around the club.
And obviously your own form, you've obviously been a league champion twice best and fairest for the competition. How have you found your own form and in comparison to the previous years?
Probably a little bit like the team, I suppose. I've been in games and out of games a little bit, probably not as consistent throughout the course of a game as I'd like. But yeah, working hard, and hopefully it can all come together.
Well, fingers crossed. And any young kids in the mix for selection, or anyone that's stood out over the first month of 2011?
So we've had 4 young guys play their first games in the seniors this year already. We've had Sadakis, who plays up forward. We've had Higgins, Daly and Chochi all play at some stage in the first 4 weeks. Their form's been good, and they've justified their selection. So they're only going to improve as they get more games under their belt, and I don't see any reason why they won't be continuing to play senior football given their start so far.
Well, Higgins is one I was going to ask the next question about. I thought he was pretty good on the weekend. From reports, I believe in the Arthur game he played quite a good game, if that's correct. Have you found him in the first 4 rounds of the year?
Yeah, he's been really good. It's his first year up from under 17s, and he did a good pre-season, and he was good in the practice matches, so he earned his spot. And we've just got to get him to say a few words. He's got a nickname on the track at the moment, a little bit Humphrey, because when he opens his mouth, not much noise comes out. But he's a good kid, and he works hard on the track. So they're all positive things, and as long as he keeps getting the footy, we'll be happy.
And just finally, obviously you've had throughout the career 3 grand finals. Probably somewhat maybe a highlight and a low light in the one. When you go back, is there anyone in mind that really sticks out as anything in your career that you're really, really proud of and you cherish for the times when you maybe have retired later on?
It's a tough question. I played some senior football with my brothers early on in my career, which was good. And then when I first came to Mont, I actually came following one of my brothers, there was some enjoyable times, and I think the things you look back on, aside from premierships, is you make good friends through football, and having been at the club now for, I think it's my 10th season, over that period of time, you make a lot of good friends, and it doesn't matter if they're not playing at the club now or they're still around. You bump into someone in the street, you stop for a chat, and it's good.
Well, thank you very much for joining us today, Bummer, and there you go, viewers. One of the true champions of the NFL, Daniel Keenan. Make sure all Mott fans get down this Saturday up against Whittlesea. Great chance to get the 4 points on the board and get the season rolling. And viewers, make sure you're watching tomorrow, on Thursday rather, when NFL Web TV comes on. It's myself, JC and Quinny go through the round 5 action this week. Thanks for watching.